Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another delightful discussion on this freaking sensational day. Wow. Anyway, to have another conversation on all things well-being, how thoughts come first, feelings come second, and actions or behaviors third. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm thrilled to chat with you today on authentic leadership. And you can hang up if you want to, but some people don't realize they're leaders when they are. If you're a parent, you're a leader. And I never really thought of myself as a leader either, other than that. And I'm a professor, so obviously there's leadership there. And also my well-being role, because there's more education and students looking up to you and all that kind of thing. And we're talking about people in positions also mainly. All that's leadership, so just work with it, however you want to work it into your belief system. People in positions where they're, people report to them, I guess is the way to say it. And so, as we all know, there are plenty of people out there who are in positions of power who shouldn't be. I mean, plain and simply, they shouldn't be. Maybe they got bullied on the playground in third grade, and now's their chance to dominate over other people. We all know those people, and but they're all ego-driven. This is the point, which is the opposite of the authentic. So the inauthentics are driven by their egos for all these other reasons, and they may not be evil demons necessarily. They may not be, but the difference is the inauthentics. Those just not quite on the path yet. We're not saying they're evil demons, though, because when you're ego-driven, it just doesn't go anywhere healthy. I mean, it just doesn't. They tend to be, these leaders, the inauthentic ones, tend to be way focused on the results. And we're not saying results aren't important, though they should not be the number one priority. It's just true. Versus the authentics, who get it, that though the results are important, their number one priority, their number one responsibility is to the people who produce the results. That is the main difference. So, typically the authentics, the tortoise and the hare thing will come out in the end on top, because that's how it works when you lead with respect versus fear. Those were really the choices: fear, respect. Respect wins each and every time because it's also less expensive, because people are going to want to be motivated to produce results for you when they respect you. Hoping the wind calms down here. So focused on results. So they tend to have, like the inauthentics tend to have thoughts going through their heads, like, what can I show to whoever is above me, right? The organization, whoever. How can I make myself look good, secure my position, all that stuff? You might be saying secure your position, all that's important. Yeah, that's all survival stuff, but here's the thing. When we go the authentic route, the rest falls into place anyway. So instead of trying to impress those above you and to showboat everything and look at me and I got this and sold this many whatevers, to stay authentic. So our authentic leaders, again, are aware of the need for results, yet their primary focus is the people who produce these results. I hope the wind will die down in a second. So here's the thing: all leaders can directly influence whether someone despises, likes, or loves their jobs. Here's the thing: despises, obviously it's more complicated than this, because somebody despises their job obviously can have things going on in their life, can also just not be a good fit because they're not on their purpose. And so here's the thing: so we know what the despising people, they're just looking forward to the weekend to come. That is no way to live, I'm telling you that right now. Our valuable life minutes just going right down the tubes. And so when we like our job, it says, like, okay, it pays well, they're nice people, I don't mind it, I don't mind going in every day. So that's, I like my job, right? I love my job, such as I do. It's you know that you don't want to work anywhere else. You know that even if you got a bigger offer from somewhere else, you wouldn't probably take it. You got to weigh it out with a partner maybe, but you're like, no, don't make me, because I love where I am. And also, Oprah says this too, if it were possible, because if it were possible, you would do it for free if you could. I've actually said that to my students for the last 12 years. That's long I've been at Champlain. So many times I couldn't count them on both fingers and toes. Like, it's just, I actually said it this week with a few seniors that were, they're getting ready to graduate, and we had a conversation, things like that, and I said, just know that, man, if I hit the lottery tomorrow, which I wouldn't because it's gambling, but if I did, I would still be teaching. And so that is, and I'm also, those of us who love our jobs are typically devoted to the people there. So I'm definitely devoted to my students. And also with our colleagues, we hang out. We hang out, and my husband plays poker with some of them, and so here's the thing, that leadership can have lots and lots to do with whether someone despises, likes, or loves their job. They can have a lot to do with it. It's not 100%, but it is a huge, big chunk of it. Lots of power. It is, and here's the thing, leaders. It is the leader's job, number one job, is to create, because this goes with the responsibility to your people thing, to create a positive work environment. That is your absolute number one job as a leader, no matter what you're doing. You can even put that in a parent perspective. It's not different. And actually, being an authentic leader is kind of like being a good parent, actually. So again, it's not about focusing directly on the results, but good people, just reminding everyone that good people can be put in a bad environment, one that's not safe, healthy, good for them in any way, and do bad things, but make not so good choices. And we saw that, here comes some snow, in the Stanford prison experiment, back in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, when they took good college kids, just, good regular people, put them in a horribly toxic environment where they simulated a prison. And just for those of you that don't know, they flipped a coin who got to be the quote-unquote inmates and who got to be the quote-unquote officers. It was all just role-played. And they put bars and everything. It was completely set up like a prison. They were really, truly locked in. But it took like a day before the officers were being abusive and power-hungry. And then I think it was don't quote me on day 5 or 6, but it wasn't very long where they had to shut it down because a couple of the quote-unquote role model or role-playing quote-unquote inmates actually became suicidal. It just, the environment took over. And so that's an extreme example, but we know that it's true, that experiment, even though people realized it was unethical later on, the results of it are just incredible. And so if we take those results into a work environment, it doesn't have to be as extreme as that, but if it's a toxic environment, maybe if it's not even all the way toxic, but not pleasant, nothing anybody looks forward to, people are going to not be their best selves. That's just it. And leaders, that is largely on you. Obviously, it's complicated and things, and here's why. So, authentic leadership, here's the things that we do for authentic leadership. I made just a couple of notes, even though I got this right in my head, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. The number one for the authentic leadership is emotionally and physically safe. So the physically part is kind of obvious. Not everybody thinks about the emotionally part. We're going to get to that in a second. And that your people have a voice. I mean, for real. Not like, come to me, you can do it. If you're not really authentically approachable, no one's coming to you. If they feel like you're not going to keep the confidence and go tell somebody else, they're not coming to you. If you have your phone on your desk facing up or down, they're not coming to you. Or they might, but they don't have both feet in the pool, because that's disrespectful to have the phone on at all if you're in a conversation. Or your computer's up, shut that thing down. Because the message there is, what I'm saying to you, I'm giving you my heart here. Might be something going wrong with the kids, or if there's a partner, something wrong with that. It might be somebody might be having surgery and it's scary. And if you've got your phone on at all, showing in any way, it's not in a freaking drawer where it should be, you're not that approachable. Same thing with the computer. The message is you're only as important as whoever texts me next, and it's just a crappy thing to do. It's a crappy way to feel. And then, I wrote a note to myself, even 5-year-olds know when they're being patronized. So that, how you talk to somebody really matters. So, also, third one is employees need to know that they're supported if they make a mistake. So ask yourself this as leaders. How approachable am I when somebody makes a mistake? Are they terrified? And if they're terrified, that's also on you, largely, because we're all human beings, so it's complicated. But the good news is this can be learned. So my notes are you genuinely approachable? Are you easy to talk to and non-judgmental? Even if they really did something wrong and screwed up. We all do. It's called being human. And you're getting your computer closed. Eye contact. Listen like there's nothing more important than the person in front of you. No one is more important than that person in front of you. Which means have the tell me more mindset, which is good in life in general. Rather than thinking how you're going to fix it right away, wait your turn, right? And it's actually also another tip is to be the leader. If you have a group, is to talk last. That's a thing, okay? So tell me more. Really have them kind of be in their ribcage. Tell me more. I am here. I'm actively listening to you. I'm mindfully listening to you, because no one is more important in this minute, in this space than you. 4 is flexible work schedule within reason, whatever you can do, especially after the Rona. That's changed significantly. And to have empathy, family obligations. Some people are more private than others. Someone might come right out and say, my child's having this scary surgery. Another one might not be able to tell you that. So you got to kind of read the room. And then 5, last one, is to show tangible appreciation. Tangible appreciation. So the words are good. We appreciate you, this, that. All raises are way good because that's putting the money where your mouth is, so to speak. And also the lunches are, or whatever. It doesn't have to be lunch necessarily. It can be like a little bagels, coffee, have it open housey so people can zip in and zip out. We are really good at this at Champlain. The leadership in general is outstanding, for lack of a better word. Obviously, nobody's perfect, but man, the trickle down with the well-being and take care of yourself, the lunches and the well-being walks, and people feel appreciated when a lunch is catered. It doesn't have to be a lot. Sometimes our former dean, she just left, which is, I think, also prompted me to do this. Lots of changes in leadership. And good people are stepping in too, so thank goodness. She would see us, getting, during finals or mud season, and she's like, time for a lunch. And it's usually, like, it's lunch. So how much of the budget is that, really? Sometimes it's order your own stuff and we'll have it delivered. Sometimes it's an Italian thing or whatever. And people hang out in an open housey way. It's not like it's from 12 to 12:30 So if you have a class in those times, you can't go. Usually she'd have it between like 12 and 2 or something so the overlap can come in. It's just so important. It's really not that different than being a good parent. Stating what the rules are, following through. So because we need support and follow through. We need to know what to do. So we're not saying be a marshmallow either. A good parent is a balance of that. You don't want to be authoritarian and you don't want to be permissive. You want to be in the middle where there's structure and rules and the child knows what to do, or the employee knows what to do in this example. I don't mean it in a condescending way. It's just a good analogy. So the rules, structure, and all that, but then you listen. You listen and do whatever you can to meet the person where they are. So really it comes down to the golden rule, right? Treat other people like you'd want to be treated. So if the other person were the leader and you were the employee, how would you want it to look? Would you want to be listened to? Would you want to know that you could safely make mistakes? Would you want to know that you were appreciated? Would you know that you're safe emotionally to say private stuff if you choose, then it's going to stay where it is? The golden rule. So in closing here, I didn't mean to go to 12 minutes. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. That is all ego. Ego, 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 which doesn't go anywhere good. And everything to do with leading authentically by realizing your number one job is your responsibility to your people, which has everything to do with you as a leader creating the positive environment. And then, leading, there's some natural, because whenever you talk about human beings, you can't dismiss genetics. There's some natural, but it's also good to know that, like other things, resilience, other things we've talked about, good leadership can also be learned, and we can shift out of some of those unhealthier, skill sets we have. It can be learned, and obviously, like anything else, it takes practice. Whatever we practice, we inevitably get good at. So leading authentically, remember, is to lead with respect, not fear, and to treat people as you want to be treated by putting them first, the people who achieve your results, and keeping them in a positive, very positive, appreciative environment. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the gorgeous woods of northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.